Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on September 23rd, 2023, at approximately 4:24 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I bill myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use in my day to day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the ones that I personally use to guide my own day to day life as well. Now, these tools and philosophies have been shared and utilized by literally thousands of others with varying degrees of success, depending on their own personal efforts. Now, before I get into it, we're going to be looking at persistence and its real importance in your future. But before we get into that, let's start with the fact that Football Cat is in with the gold. Eternity Eternal has arrived with the silver. And that's where that stops. So we will keep an eye on things. Now, as I've mentioned before, hopefully everything's coming through as far as sound goes. I think I've got things set up right. Hopefully that's the case. Now, first of all, for you two, welcome aboard. Glad you could join us. The reality of persistence is this. Oh, here we have Philip Blair. Oh, Phil Blair goes, I have trouble giving up and hiding. What if you feel unworthy of persistence? That is a fantastic question, Philip. We'll deal with that one right off the bat. Okay. Sometimes persistence literally boils down to stubborn disposition. By the way, Philip, you are in with the bronze, and Joe has arrived with honorable mention. Now, sometimes and quite often, persistence literally boils down to going, I'm going to make it happen. Okay. No, Derek, it has not arrived yet. I will check again as soon as the stream is over, as soon as I'm done the stream, and let you know. But as at this point, it hasn't. By the way, Derek, welcome aboard. Now, where it comes to stubborn disposition, some of us have it in spades, and I kid you not. I have looked at what I'm aiming at doing with the amount of obstacles I'm facing, just trying to get and I say trying because, well, so far it's been unsuccessful. I did a short little test upload on this one, but with the amount of complications and obstacles I'm getting on getting something moving so that people can get their work can actually get their work put into print. Okay. I'm looking at it going, I am just one person. Okay. And we've got all these massive corporations out there that are already providing this service, albeit in my eyes, poorly. Okay, but I'm just one person. Who am I? Just a single individual. Nobody to speak of knows me. Who am I to say I'm going to build a corporate? I'm going to build an empire. I'm not going to build a corporation unless something seriously changes. But here's the hiccup with the corporation in my eyes. In a corporation, the way Canadian law stands right now, you have to have a board of directors, and that board of directors has the right to fire you from your own company. I'm not going that route. Okay, but I am doing things, and I am going to build it, and I'm looking at it going, every time I turn around, I'm in a major bind. Okay, thus far, I've been unemployed now for 6 months. Government has shafted me completely, and I'm out of income and almost out of money. Here's where persistence kicks in. That's not a bad idea there, Philip. Right now, I think, well, no, I know. I've got 29 books right now that I am concurrently writing. You know, oh, there absolutely are. What I'm building, okay, is I went, okay, I'm going to remain a sole proprietor. I will have a board of advisors. Absolutely. But a board of advisors, all they're doing is saying, this is what we think you should do. And you still have a final say. Now, I look I look at the whole system and go, you know, Colonel Sanders, the guy that built Kentucky Fried Chicken, he was just one man at 65. He opened his own chicken stand, and 4 months after opening it, he closed the doors because people wouldn't do it his way. Okay, a month later, he reopens it. At least this is what I found out. Whether or not this is how the facts sit, I don't know. Okay, but a month later, he reopened it and went, do it my way. Okay, net result in today's world, and I don't even know when he opened it. I know he was 65, but I don't know what year it opened. Here we are in today's world. He turns around and becomes a household name. Now, here's the thing. He incorporated, as far as I gather, and then of course he up and died, and that really ruined things. Today, the quality of the product has collapsed. In my way of looking at it, I'm not interested in my quality or my layout setting and my setup being confused or being compromised. Okay. So I've got this whole idea in place. I'm going, no, I'm really not. When I was a kid, I did not feel that my opinion at all was of any importance. Okay, I wouldn't even talk to my own parents about it. So here I am going, this is what I'm going to do. I am taking dominant control of my own life. And that's just the way that's going to be. Now, this may be, as Han Solo put it, this may be just delusions of grandeur. Maybe it's a way to kill time for the next 10 years until I drop dead. Okay. Now, I don't know for certain. What I do know is I have a vision in my head on paper. And like I said, get the thought when that thought comes in, it'll either get to your heart, that real drive to say, I'm going to do it. Or maybe it'll get to your head first. And you'll go, gee, I wonder just exactly how I can make this happen. But it's when your head and your heart, when your head and your heart are in conflict. In other words, when you feel I'm really not worthy of success. Okay. When you're fighting that issue, and yet you've still got this dream. Okay. When you've still got this dream, but you're on the verge of just saying, scrap it. I'm not doing it. I'm not worthy of it. When you get to that point, okay, your stubborn streak is still saying, but I desire to make this happen. And you'll notice I go, I desire it to happen, not I want it to happen. There's a whole lot of reasons for that. But either your mind or your heart are still saying, that's what I desire to happen. When your head and your heart are in conflict, follow your heart. Okay. Your heart won't let you give up. It's just that simple. The heart is driven to succeed. Okay. The mind is an ego. Now, the mind may tell you, I'm better than everybody. Okay. Your heart will tell you, I'm as good as everybody. I'm as good as the next person. I'm not better than you. I'm not more deserving than you. I may be more stubborn than you. I mean, Lord knows people, I've tried dying enough times and failed. There's a funny one to fail on, but you get this drive in your heart. How am I going to move forward? And you've got this thing of, well, I'm just not worthy of it. I'm unworthy. Well, the first thing you do to counteract that, okay, and I find this works extremely well, if you haven't done it already. Okay, if you haven't done it already, get a sign. I suggest on paper. This is done on obviously wood. But these 4 words, I am worth it. Get them on your fridge tonight. Okay. Where is it? I think that's it right there. Literally every one of the books. I keep this because it's handy. Where are we? There we are. Literally every book I send out, every book somebody buys, I send one of these bookmarks with. Okay. Now, this was the backbone of how I managed to turn everything around. Okay. On the back of this, you'll notice it says, believe in yourself and follow your dreams. Oh, well, sheep. I'm going to have to order a different set. But that's okay. This still says what it should. But I am going to go down and order another set because there's a minor change to it that I've got to make. But on the back of it, those 4 words, that's how important this is. If you're feeling unworthy, the odds are you've been spending most of your life with people telling you, well, who do you think you are? You know, what makes you better than everybody else? Well, in all fairness, nothing does. You know, in all fairness, nothing makes you better, more, more worthy than anybody else. But there's also nothing that makes you less worthy. I put that back up on the shelf where it belongs. Now, the whole idea of persistence, okay, this is how you get yourself driven. You literally tell yourself constantly. And again, this neat little trick that I showed people for quitting drugs, quitting alcohol, quitting quitting all kinds of things. But you'll notice I say quitting. Okay, you can use the same technique. Take a recording device. This will help you get past that feeling of unworthiness. Take a recording device, your call on what it is, and you simply use it, whether it's whether it's an Yldrbac, a tape recorder, a cell phone with a recording site, with recording software, a computer. It doesn't matter. Take something, and in your own voice, you literally repeat for a half hour straight. This is the boring part. I am worth it. I am worth it. You repeat that for a half hour solid. Once you're done, that's the boring part. Done, finished. Okay, now, every night when you're done whatever you're doing, whether it's spending time with a loved one, whether it's watching a show, reading a book, maybe it's just sitting and staring at a spot on the wall, which, by the way, is another whole trick for improving your eyesight, but we get to that in another day, on another day. When you've done everything, you lay down, turn the lights off, you turn that recording on to play. It can even be played at a low level, so that for the first half hour while you're drifting off to sleep, you're hearing your own words going, I am worth it, as you drift off to sleep. Average turnaround time to break a habit or to create one, 21 days. If you miss a day, start over counting on day 1. You won't do any damage to yourself, by the way. You start over on day 1. Now, you may get this drive right solidly in your head within the first couple of days. Myself, I run that message through my head daily. Every time I get into a little bit of a bind, and I ran into it when the government turned around and said, oh, your business isn't viable, so we're not going to help you. No, you're going to run obstacles all over the place instead. Okay, now let us just scroll down a bit here. Okay, but that's how to start pushing past the unworthy problem. Now, what do we got here? Philip is just going, there are other legal frameworks to organize under, and there are. So I am sticking for the moment with a sole proprietorship. I will get legal paperwork in place. How I'm going to find out who does it, I don't know, because the notary public, they apparently don't know what they're doing, at least not the one I called. I don't know if we do that paperwork. You're in business. Okay. Now I'm building an empire, starting with a publishing company. I know full well, and I'm what they call a gentleman contractor. If I tell you, you send me $20 with your poem and a letter stating that it is your original work, and I have the right to reproduce it in part or in whole as is. Okay, and for that, it will get published and you will get a free copy of your book for only $20. Okay, that's in your hand. Okay, I know absolutely. I tell you I'm going to do that. I know absolutely I'm going to do that. Okay, whether I've got the legal paperwork and the more complicated legal paperwork in place or not doesn't matter to me. Actually, I may have a template that I can modify myself that somebody else did get done. I'm certain I do. Now, oh, neat, Joe. I'm just jumped ahead. I'm going to come back. I'm going to go back up. I just jumped ahead here. Joe's just said, you'll find this interesting. I'm watching this on iPad, and a divine mercy YouTube is teaching about dreams, meaning, and church teaching on iPhone. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know if I want to call it coincidence or not, but you are right. I do find it interesting. The timing of it is brilliant. Now, so I was going to go back up a fraction here. Philip has said, I heard that Johnny Carson might have been invited to sit on the board of Coca-Cola. And it is quite possible. I just have no idea. Okay, I remember a couple of things I saw on Johnny Carson. I wasn't even back then an avid TV watcher. Okay, I watch movies and what have you, but TV, not so much. But I turn around, and I look at it going, okay, I'm making this happen. Now, the only person that has to believe this is possible, given the fact that here's the reality, I'm almost out of money altogether. Okay. I've got rent this month. I don't know if I'll have rent next month. Okay. So I've got to find a way to do that. And since the government shafted me, I'm going to have to find a way to do it the other way. Okay. With that in mind, where are we? Oh, I forgot to open that up. Well, actually, I didn't forget to open it. I just forgot to move it. Because I've been asked by a number of you how to actually help. Now, I'm not going to tell you who, but somebody the other day, they literally sent me a little bit of cash in the mail, folded up inside a solid sheet of paper so you couldn't tell what was inside. But the letter inside said, this is a donation. Don't send me a receipt. This is just to help. Okay. But the easiest email to get a hold of me at is, where are we? This one right here. We go copy that. If you're looking to buy any one of the books I've got available, okay, this is the email to catch up with me right off the bat. And it's also the email that gets through to PayPal, usually, not always. And again, Derek, as soon as I'm done this stream, I will go down to the mailbox and double check. And then I will drop you a quick line and let you know, yes, it arrived, or no, it hasn't yet. But No, in all honesty, Philip, I personally didn't watch it. I used to watch Star Trek all the time, and I have watched a lot of the movies. I gotta get back and watch a bunch more of them. But when we're talking about persistence, the trick is to go, there's the goal I'm making that I've got. And I have broken it down into smaller tasks. Like this morning, you know, I got up this morning. Oh, by the way, Raven, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I have been actually doing my best to drop in. But I'll tell you, time gets really screwy. And of course, today, with all the stress I've been under, I ended up grabbing a quick little nap as well. But I got up this morning. Now, I got up at 3. I have had a couple of naps since, which reminds me. Where is my pen? There it is. 3:30. Gotta add this because I've been tracking sleep as best I can. Today is, there we go, 1300 to 1400. No, that was 15. Yeah, 14. Well, try that again. 1430 to 1530. Okay, so I got up this morning at 3 o'clock, worked until 5, slept from 5 until 5:30, and then got back up, was on the go until 2:30 this afternoon, and then slept until 3:30. As you can see, what happens for me is I've got to run in and run my sleeping pattern a little screwy. But I got up this morning. It's like, okay, take your major goal, break it down into smaller parts. Now I got a whole whack of things I'm working on. So I got up this morning, played an hour on Skyrim, read another couple of chapters of the Bible, read another few pages on Gudrun, started reading the first of the nature encyclopedias. Okay, cleared off everything on the bed. This little stack of paperwork is just stuff I got, and that stuff I'm literally working on. Got the office sorted out, got my email double checked, got the topics. Now, the way it stands, and these are open to be shifted 1 week. But right now, and again, this boils down to getting an image and going, here's the steps I'm going through. One of the projects I've got is to make sure I stay ahead of things on the stream, because there are days I will end up missing it. Obviously, we've seen this happen. Okay. Now, when we take a look at that, tomorrow, okay, like today, we're dealing with persistence. Tomorrow, as you know, is Sunday. That means it's an open topic. Bring your questions, whatever they are, doesn't matter. Any topic. Now, I may not have the answers, but if I don't have the answer, I will be straightforward with you and go, haven't got a clue. Somebody else is going to have to figure it out. I'm just noticing here, like Leonard Nimoy, I did watch a couple of his shows. I was not a consistent listener by any stretch, but the man was absolutely brilliant. Okay, it was his character Spock that I really connected with when it came to my growing up. Absolutely brilliant individual. So I managed to get the topics done. So tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, on Monday, we're going to be looking at the alien aspect of, are we an experiment? And we'll expand on that, as in, if not, what are we? If we are, and by the way, we're not an experiment. Okay. Are we an experiment, and what is the experiment? Ultimately, it boils down to, why are we here? From an off-world standpoint, what is our purpose? understand something very important. This is all part and parcel of the empire and planet I'm building. To be able to help you understand. That might be my throat. But let's see if moving this thing. I know my throat's a little off anyway. But let me see. There we are. Turn the gain down just a fraction. Hopefully that helps. But I know from my standpoint, yeah, I do appreciate the feedback there, Derek. I'm still learning how this thing works. And you know me in technology. But part of a major driving, not quite, but I understand the thought there, Raven. Quite frankly, if we were an ant farm, we'd be a heck of a sight more productive and organized. But no, I know I can hear in my own voice that it's a little scratchy, which is a concern from the standpoint of will it last? Will it last the couple of hours? But I'm going to push as much as I can. But I changed the gain. I moved the speed of the mic a little bit. If it improves, let me know, or if it gets worse, let me know, because I did turn the gain down just a fraction. Oh, I appreciate that there, Derek. I never know with technology. Part of the issue of this empire that I'm building is to give and to return to you, to return to you the ability to live your life your way while you're following karmic law. Because I only ever follow 3 laws. Be true to yourself first, which boils down to, in this case, I'm building an empire. I'm building it, starting with the publishing company. But I will be looking into housing, to low cost housing. And you'll notice I said low cost housing, not low income. I'm not looking at it as a standpoint of, oh, you don't have enough money, so you have a problem. Okay. It's a simple issue for me of going, here's what the rent's going to be. And this is way down the road in all likelihood, considering I got to do something about my income first. Okay. Now, that said, the idea is to return to you the ability to actually, number one, believe in yourself. That's the first person we got to get you believing in. And by the way, it's also the first person I had to come to believe in. Okay, the government shutting me down, the lawyers not knowing what their job is, the college not knowing what it teaches. Clearly, I have to learn things the hard way. Maybe that's the best way. I don't know. Okay, let's get that so I can actually move it. Now, like I said, on Monday, we're going to be looking at, are we an experiment? Okay, let me just stop that from scrolling. Leave that sit there for a minute. We'll do that on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going into the gaming world. Okay, and specifically, I'm going to explain what I'm doing with my game to create an interesting situation. And by the way, the neat part about it is this also ties into the idea of giving you guys an idea how to reclaim power over your life. I'm turning around and doing the same thing with the game. Okay, and we will be discussing that on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we're going to look at the difference between a career and a job. Okay, and this is why right now I have I've got in the Believe in Your series. I've got Believe in Your business. But are you just doing a job, or are you building a career, a lifelong goal? For me, the publishing company is part of a career. Ultimately, it's going to lead to a healing center. Okay. And I mean a true healing center, covering mental, physical, and spiritual enhancement. Okay. Then on Thursday, clearly I'm not going to be here. Okay, I just don't come online on Thursday. That's my gaming day. On Friday, we are going to look at the Alpha race and its various different permutations. Okay, now they are an ancient race, but these are the people that you've heard about in mythology, in ancient folklore, in science fiction books, or science fantasy books, rather. Okay, now, and then of course on the 30th, which will be on next Saturday. And again, these can all be changed. If you've got a topic, I will shift these by 1 week, any one of them, and bring one of the topics you guys come up with, put it in place, and do the other one the following week. Okay, and I see there's something there, I just can't quite read it, so I'll scroll down to it in a sec. Okay, but that's the next 5. I'm starting to build a backlog. Okay, so that's how that sits. Now, with that in mind, the whole idea here is simple. I hid in the shadows for really 55 years. Now, because I can't count the first 5 as living in the shadows. I mean, let's face it. By the time I was 5, I'd been dead 3 times. Okay, and stayed in the shadows after that. But on top of those 3 deaths, I also spent 3 years in, between age 2 and age 5. I spent involved in the my labs. Okay, watched 197 of my friends get murdered in front of me, just as a way of enhancing my own abilities. In all fairness, they were trying to enhance theirs as well. They just had a bad habit of dying and staying that way. Kind of a common theme, most people, you die, that's where it ends. Now, I just scrolled down here and Philip's gone, how come when I click something like 10 secrets they don't want you to know about, they are so often the same so-called secrets? These are actual secrets. Why so easy to find? The trick there is, these are secrets they don't want you to know about. Ask yourself this. The person that's posting that, okay, the person that is posting that, scroll down here half second. Forrest Louie, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I don't think I've seen you in the room before, so welcome aboard. Now, oh, by the way, where are we here? Look over there. We are currently, and I keep procrastinating, and this is a problem on my end. Okay. When you look at it, we are right now, by the way, at 548 subscribers. Now, one thing that has been consistently happening, and this is in large part due to you guys, so thank you so much for that. I know I only run a 2-hour show, but by the end of the 2 hours, quite often I have more than 24 hours worth of viewing happening. Okay, the average seems to be about a 30-minute run that people listen. Okay, now I don't blame them. This is why I've got a few people that say you got to put out shorter videos. And if I didn't talk so much, probably could. But with that in mind, if my goal with the live stream and with the newsletters, which reminds me, get this down here. That stuff I've already been working on. I require, get that over there for just a moment. Did I didn't bring that. Okay. So I've got this little list here. Now what I've got written here is just those five topics I already listed off for you. But as soon as I get down this stream, those of you that are getting the newsletter, October's newsletter, I'm going to be emailing a bunch of them. I'm going to email a bunch of them out tonight. First of all, we go check mail. So as soon as I get done here, and this is why I say the list is so absolutely important. Now I will get to that in half a second. So, this is what I'm talking when we're looking at the secrets. When somebody says, here's a secret. Now, here's a neat little kicker to you. I've seen books that come out and say, oh, here's the incredible secret. Ask for what you want. Ask for what you need. Here's the problem with that. Okay, and here's the real kicker of the secret. Not wait till the end of the show. I'm going to tell you right now. The kicker to it is this. The moment you say, I want something, I need something, you are putting out to the universe that you are lacking this. Okay, that you are lacking this issue. I better stop that from scrolling, or I'm going to lose track of it. Finally figured out how Dave stays on top of it. Okay, the moment you say, I want or I need whatever, you're putting out to the universe, I desire a lack of whatever the item is. If you want more money, okay, you're telling the universe, I desire to experience a lack of more money. This is why you'll hear me say something and go, wait, no, I can do that. Or, I'll say, I want, no, I desire. Either utilize I desire or I choose. Okay. And yes, that is something I have to deal with, come to think of it. But I'm going to check the mail as soon as I get off. As soon as I get on and get done the stream. And we go email the and I use my own shorthand, by the way, but email the newsletter and it'll go out as soon as I get back from checking the mailbox, which, by the way, is 100 feet down the hallway. Okay, so when they tell you, here's the secret, I got an idea. Here's the secret. Buy my book so you can find out the secret. Give me money so I can tell you a totally useless idea that everybody else is talking about. Okay, I will absolutely tell you, that this particular book, let's see, this one here, I will absolutely tell you that this book, Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams, is the backbone to how I took my life. No, I didn't take my life. I've never actually committed suicide, but it's how I changed my life from being very, very, low self-esteem to I'm standing here telling you I'm going to be a leader in the industry. Okay, I'm just doing that. So that's to start with. But they say that so you'll keep paying attention. I go, this is why I say, here's a neat little kicker for you. Here it is. Hopefully you'll continue listening, but at least you walk away knowing something you can do to change your life. I know it'll work because I've done it. Okay. And whenever you're striving to do something successfully, talk to somebody that's done it successfully. My father was a brilliant man when it came to humanitarian work. Okay, and where it came to raising kids, he was absolutely brilliant. I could not talk to him about how to become a millionaire because he never became one. But what he did teach me was worth so much more than all the money in the world. Okay, now let us take, and Philip is just saying reinventing the wheel. The funny part there, Philip, yeah, Raven, you are right. Often those secrets aren't complete. Parts are left out on purpose. I'm doing my level best, and you're going to have to take my word for it. Sorry, all I got for you. I'm doing my best to eliminate the missing pieces, to make sure you're not left with the great big craters. Okay, the secret's in here, the step-by-step methods. I even go so far as to give you the primary reason that I'm aware of why you won't desire to do it in the first place. Okay, and before you ask, because somebody already did, it's only at this point available through me, through my email, through my right through me directly. Okay, because frankly, I got shafted. Now, with that in mind, okay, there are absolutely step-by-step procedures in here, but I'm not going to leave you sit with, oh, it's possible. I'm going to tell you how as best I can. Okay, now I'm not perfect by any means. Take that, move it over there. I was thinking something here, and I forget exactly what it was, which is why I should have written it down, but let's take a look here. Now, this will give you an idea how far down the road I've gone. I mean, Forrest Louis was really, like, I really do appreciate this comment. I appreciate all your guys' comments, all your input, without a shadow of a doubt. At least not on my part. But Forrest Louis just piped in here. Can't wait for Friday. Sadly, Forrest, you're going to have to wait till Friday, because that's just the way things go. Now, Derek, I'm hoping this means that they've put things back in place. And I will tell you, down the road, I will be dealing with script writing, with scripts. I'm going to enter the one of my goals, and it will depend on how fast I can get things moving in the right direction. But I am going to, like with the publishing company, I will look into doing movie production way down the road, because I've got to learn a whole pile before that. But Derek's just letting us know Hollywood ended the writer's strike, and that means Marvel movies will be back on track. And to me, this is fantastic, depending on what they do with them. Now, I see what you've written here, Derek, and it gives you an idea how far up I am. Derek's gone. You could have a group of panels with people from the chat. That'd be a smashing success. When I get technology built to the point that I can do it and that I can understand it, I absolutely have no problem with that. Okay, I will do my best to open that door, because I do agree. Much as all of you, I love the input, and this is why I tell people, you guys talk amongst yourselves. This is not called being a troll. This is called mutual support. And this is a microcosm of what I am aiming to bring back to this world. This is why I came back. And what we're doing in this chat room can be done over the rest of the world. It really can. Okay, I don't know about you. I grew up colorblind, so skin tone has never mattered to me. Okay, I've had 2 conversations with people telling me that they're native and I'm not, and I'm looking at them going, I was born here, I'm native. Now, maybe I'm a little obtuse. Okay, no, from a bloodline standpoint, I was not born with part of my ancestry, at least not that I'm fully aware of. Okay, and I'm not about to go and get it tested. But I will, I do desire you guys to get a chance to voice your ideas. Absolutely. Okay. The one thing I won't tolerate, even when I open that door, okay, I will not tolerate this idea of anybody coming in going, oh, I'm better than other people, or I know more than everybody else. You may, but I'm not about to tolerate prejudice or this superiority complex I see people running with. All kinds of people are doing things. I keep my messages here just so I know what's happening. But, and let's scroll down a bit here. Derek, I got a really odd question for you. Derek got, I wish they could get rid of the heart emoji in the chat. Okay. For me, it really boils down to this. And, pardon me for being blunt, or don't. Not everybody uses heart. I very seldom use a heart emoji. Okay. I very seldom use it at all. But if you don't like it, that's no problem. You leave it there. Every emoji does not have to be used. Okay. It's like that wonderful little and the little pile of swirly. I don't use that either. Okay. I'm a firm believer in what my father used to say. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything. Tell you, there was a time in my life where I'd have been absolutely mute. Um, Joe, in a manner of speaking, Joe has asked, will the paranormal come to you if you ask nicely? Well, two major factors. The paranormal's already there, but the other aspect of it is don't ask. Thank the different aspect for showing itself in a way that you can both accept and understand. Okay. When you ask, again, you're setting up this negative parameter. If you ask her something in linear thinking, it makes total sense. Okay, you don't ask to have it, so ask for it. Okay, but when you ask for it in linear time, in linear thinking, which is the way corporeals think, okay, is you go, I don't have it, so I'm going to ask for it, so you'll give it to me. In the actual way that reality works, from what I've seen, because today, tomorrow, and yesterday are the same time. If you don't have it now, you're not going to have it down the road. So thank the paranormal for showing up in a way that you can both accept and understand, and you'll find you're more aware of it. Shadow, how you doing? Yes, I know that's insulting, but hey, what the heck? Bear in mind, I call it corporeal because I don't feel like going through all the different names. But it also is referring to the non-corporeal. The people that you can walk through. And there's a lot of those that you never see. But whenever you desire something to occur in your life, number one, choose to have it or desire to have it, and you thank whoever for providing it or for showing up. Okay. Now I've tried thanking the government for their help, but I keep getting really, really blindsided with that. Because clearly the government, at least from my experience, not here to help. But they are a necessary commodity. Okay. So, I mean, ultimately that's how that works. Now, what do we got here? Philip goes, an emoji for a small metal spike with a helmet. Which could be interesting. Philip, I'm presuming you're referring to which office of the government? Amy Tonga, how you doing? Glad you could join us. The government agency that I went to was an agency referred to as Community Futures. Now, I went to them and said, look, I require insight on how to operate on the net, on how to get, on how to do marketing, on how to work with the basic interaction with the computer. This is what I'm coming to you for. I gave them a letter of support from the printer that has put 8 of my books in print. That letter contained a statement going, I've got a whole list of clients for Keith as soon as he's got the business open. Okay. The government, Community Futures, turned around and went, I'm sorry, your business is not viable right now. It's not a viable business, and you don't have enough computer experience for us to help you. I'm sitting there going, what's not viable when you got people lined up at the door? And of course, I don't have the computer experience. Okay, I don't have the computer experience. That's why I was coming to you. This is what I mean by they shut the door on me. They were supposed to call me last week with a viable option. Didn't happen. Not an entire surprise. But I will still tell you the government is, as was said just up here. Yeah, Shadow goes, you mean unnecessary evil? Sad to say, if you don't have a government agency in place, you're not going to take 100,000, or for that matter, 200 people and get them to agree on anything. You've got to have guidelines that everybody, theoretically everybody, because let's face it, that doesn't happen much, with Inner Voice Enterprises, as it grows, the rules that I put down for other people, they apply to me. Okay, I'm the one building it, and they still apply to me. Because if they don't apply to me, how can I call them a guideline? How can I say I'm guiding you or I'm encouraging you down this road? Okay. Yeah, Philip goes, maybe they weren't against, maybe they were against capitalism, which wouldn't be a surprise. This one, Shadow, I wish I'd been in your boat. Shadow goes, I have never needed any government and probably never will. I've lived my life without needing their help, but they sure do seem to want my help. Yeah, and unfortunately, they really require it. No, so what I'm looking at this point, and again, it boils down to I got an idea in my head. This is what I'm doing. Yes, being a professional procrastinator with low self esteem, it has taken a lot to get moving. Okay, but that's what I'm doing here now. There was something I was thinking of. What the heck was it? I forget what it was. I'm still trying to figure out what that other thing is. But now we got people coming through the door here. I'm referring to in the chat room, by the way. Now, I do have the speaker. I am going to be looking into a headset, but again, I got to get the cash flow moving. So what I'm doing at this point, in order to stay focused on what I'm building, okay, I have to go out and really start reaching out to people that I know to figure out how to make it happen. Okay, do I understand technology? Certainly. It's there. I get frustrated. It fries. I understand that all too well. But, like a buddy of mine said, at least I can use an automated door. He literally cannot. He walks into an automated door, the ones that have the sensors, he is invisible to them. Yeah. And that's just it, Philip. Self-esteem is a massive problem for a lot of people, primarily because we're taught right from the get-go. Number one, you're a child. You don't know what you're doing. Children, I'm telling you, are first and foremost born with extreme curiosity, no fear, and no prejudice. Now, the fear, there is a case where that can be useful, as in the fear of falling downstairs. Lord knows I wouldn't have fallen down as many stairs if I'd have worried about that. Okay, but we do learn by watching what other people do, if we're smart. Now, I love the people that have turned around. Yes, that is very true, Shadow. Shadow adds, referring to the children, I presume, and an insatiable hunger. They desire to learn. But we're taught as we get older and as the further down the road we go, okay, we get taught asking, as a tiny child, you're told, ask questions. The moment you start to think for yourself, you're told, don't ask me, just do what you're told. Okay, I will quite readily. Oh, okay. Shao just correcting us here. Actually, I was referring to the government. They do have an insatiable appetite, it would seem. Okay. And quite frankly, they seem to consume at a staggering level. The comical part I hear, And I've heard lots of people do it, not just the government. You gotta run a balanced budget to be successful. There are so few governments. Okay, there are so few governments, so few companies that actually run a balanced budget. So very few of them. I don't know whether they understand that or not. What do we got here? Yeah, Philip goes, I don't like it when I hear the phrase vice of curiosity. I see curiosity as a virtue. It is there, Philip, and I really encourage you not to lose that curiosity thing. Shadow goes, I'll be here all week, folks, and don't forget to tip your waitresses. I am so happy to hear you're going to be here, Shadow. I really am. I'm working on a number of different things, and so many of them cross coordinate. But one thing that we have to look at, well, we don't have to, I use the term have to, I encourage you to look at, is that this question of are you, are you content with your life? Okay, I'm no longer content. I got told very emphatically a few weeks back, get your tail feathers out of the shadows. Find a way to stand up and be noticed. Okay. This is just an absolute imperative. And I would love to hear about what's going on with you guys, how your plans, how your goals are coming to light, are coming into balance. Now, do I remember who's doing what? No, in all fairness, I don't actually keep tabs on it. Okay, this is why when it's mentioned, I will absolutely comment on it. Oh, I forgot to do this. And I don't know if apologies are necessary, but my apologies anyway. Or did I? Maybe I did this. Oh, that was wrong. Cut that out. That is not going to work well. Gotta keep that, or I gotta go find out where it went. This, I think I actually did this, but it doesn't hurt. I just popped in Shadow's live stream again. And again, in case I didn't do it before, drop in, give him a listen. He comes on Saturday from at 9 p.m. Central. No, he does not. Shadow comes on all over the place. But when you drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he's got to say, do give him a thumbs up, subscribe to his channel, and share the daylights out of it. I do end up watching a number of Shadow's. I've watched a number of your streams. When I get the chance to. Usually because I got something else on the go. Well, I've always got something else on the go. But okay, Philip. Now, Philip's made a very good point here. He goes, I'm always not content, feeling very restless. Let me ask you this, Philip, and this is literally directly to you, but it's a question for all of you that are listening. That just about came out as all of you. But we'll go with all of you. Just my way of speaking. Philip, do you have a pen and paper handy? Okay, while you're sitting here. Oh, I am going to have to drop in. Now, obviously, if you go on at 6, I'll be late getting there, but I'm going to have to drop in. I got some stuff I got to work on, and it worked out really well for me. So, yeah, Shadow is just saying, tonight we're going to be chatting about Underworlds, the seedy side of sci-fi. Christine, how you doing? Glad you could join us. So I'm looking at the way this world is, and I'm going, it's got to change, because if it doesn't, we're going to go down the same road we already went down way too many times. I don't personally feel like picking up the mess again. Yes, I'm trying to kill myself slowly. Don't have coffee, and it's too freaking warm for me right now. Not to worry, I can dissolve what's in my stomach. Um, what do we got? You know, everybody keeps talking about AI, artificial intelligence. You know, personally, I'm waiting for people to wake up again and bring real intelligence back. That real curiosity drive to say, hey, how can we make this world a better world? Ferret, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You know, the important factor that I look at is this. I see hiccups all over the place. One of the biggest things that I'm absolutely sent. Yeah, Ferret goes, great, bring back critical thinking. Yeah, and we're not talking about critical as in being critical of other people making the effort. We're talking about ask the intelligent questions. Okay, why are you doing this? If you know this, why are you doing this? You know, it's amazing how many people I have that conversation with. But one of the things that I look at is this. I see these major corporations and all you become is a number. Okay. That's all you become. But to be clear, let's see, if I go over and grab my one box. My one box. This is my database. This is why nobody can hack my database. Yes, they can certainly hack a computer. I do have a virus scanner on it. But personally, I wish I'd gotten the virus scanner my brother built. Phil's just going, I recently learned that our word hilarious comes from a ritual in ancient Roman religion. that's comical and it's all get out, really. You know, yeah, Shadow says maybe we can start small and just bring back thinking. My old man used to say, use your brain. It's that little thing, it's the little things that count. You know, no doubt. And yeah, I was thinking of that myself. Fair, I really was. Sometimes I look at it and I've seen rats think more than some humans. And yes, I know that sounds insulting. I got over it. But, you take a look because of the way that I set my account and the accounts up. Him, I will have to call back. Probably should have answered that one, but so I best send a message. Whoop, plug that in a sec. We will send. I've got to send this message because it's somebody I need to talk. As I do require talking to. So I'm just letting him know. Live streaming right now. Live streaming right now. Done at 6:30. We'll call you. Yes, I know this is live streaming. You're watching me text. But my life gets confusing on occasion. So, like I said, I have to kind of work around that. But when we look at it, take a look at your life. Are you content? Now, first, oh, I was getting to something there, Philip. I didn't notice if you said anything, but do you have a pen or a pencil and a sheet of paper handy, or even a recording device? Take a look where you are. Okay, where you are right now. Okay, to get off that little rut. Okay, gotta go way back up here a bit. Um, there we are. Back to what you said earlier, Philip. I am also not content, feeling very restless. The trick to getting past the restlessness. Take a look at what's going on around you. Write down one thing you know you require doing. Okay, I'll get back to this in half a second. Write down 3 things. Okay, but keep them down to 15-minute to half-hour jobs. That way you can start seeing you're making progress. This simple path of progress will make it so much easier to attain what you're aiming for. Okay, and it will encourage you to keep moving. The reason I say will is because after several thousand clients utilizing the same tool with success, I can tell you the tool works. Okay, now scrolling back down, catching up what I missed. Oh, yeah, Shadow and Sun says he's talking about it tonight. He'll be coming on at 6:30 in California time, also known as Pacific. Okay, or what I call PST. Christine, we have been, I don't know what the weather, well, I know right now we're overcast, but that's where that is. But let's just take a look. We are currently 19 degrees Celsius, which 1936, we're in the mid 60s. Okay, right now, as far as the states go. Okay, and the reason I've got this neat little fan running, and you can't see that, so that's okay. But this fan, I've got it going so I can have the airflow I require. Now, go down. Okay, we covered that already. Now, I'm not going to debate who owns what. Okay, everybody keeps talking about, oh, everything in the world is owned by 2 people. Okay, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, doesn't matter. I don't know about you guys, but the one thing I did discover was as long as it's legally permitted, as in on the books, so I don't have to worry about going to jail. Okay, I will do things my way. Okay, the fact somebody else, like right now, I say I own my car. The reality is I'm still renting it from the car company. I don't know who owns the car company. I don't know who owns that. I don't care who owns it. Okay, it's one of these things I just don't bother putting a lot of weight behind. You know, because something you got to realize, if we worry about about what other people own, this is where jealousy tends to surface. Now, there's nothing wrong at all with envy. Okay, envy says I'd like to do that better. Like, I mean, there is a part of me that looks at what Shadow does with the gaming and with the figures. I'm very envious of it. Am I envious enough of it to really put a lot of effort into working it? To working on the figures? No. In all fairness, I'm not. I got too many other things on the go. Now, of course, Raven, you go, every corporation is owned by either BlackRock or Vanguard. 2 things I look at there. Who owns BlackRock and who owns Vanguard? There's always somebody higher up. Always. And I mean that literally. I had a direct conversation with what you would consider God. There's somebody above him. Okay. Even by his own admission, there's always somebody higher. Well, that depends on how many drugs you do. Okay. The way I look at it is this. Philip, you just made a very important point there. The thing is, there is always going to be somebody better, somebody in better shape, somebody in worse shape. Okay, all you can do is work on yourself. Okay, you cannot change the way other people are by direct influence, by direct effect. You can influence the way that other people are. Okay, by treating people differently, they will in turn treat other people they run into differently. And this is the key to changing this world. Because I don't know about you, but I'm really not happy with the way everybody treats the way most people treat each other. Not to worry, that's just straight cold water. And it is not fire water. Yeah, that's what I was thinking there, Christine. With the temperature, it gives you an idea how far down the road I am here. Or how far up the road. But yeah, there is no question. I'm much more comfortable in the mid 60s to early 70s. I am functional at close to 100. Okay, or you're close to 40. Okay. But see, yeah, and here's the thing. You know of 7. The question that I always ask is what's above the 7? I do not believe the 7 are at the top of the totem pole. Okay. And the one thing I certainly don't believe, okay, is that I certainly do not believe that just because I'm very low on the financial scale right now, I am no less important than anybody else. I'm no more important than anybody else. Okay. But I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, I've got an idea of what I desire to build. And look at me, I'm so good, I'm so special. I'm not that special. I am just like you. I've got goals, I've got dreams, I've got a stubborn streak from heck. And the really neat part about it is I'm fully aware of it. But that's the key is look at your own shortfalls, what you see as a shortfall. Acknowledge the fact it's there. But at the same time you're acknowledging said fact, be certain you take a look at the world and go, we are going to move forward. I'm going to make this better for me and subsequently for other people. This is the backbone of persistence because you didn't get into the state you're in today overnight in all likelihood. Oh, I did notice something. I saw this on Facebook the other day. A gentleman that some of you may know. It was posted on Facebook, so I don't consider this a secret. Okay, let me just double check and make sure I got this right. Not there. Let's just go to home. I don't know if I can find it again. If I knew where there was a whatchamacallit, if I knew where there was a search bar, I'd use that. But if I remember correctly, I should have actually written it down. But somebody most of us know, okay, by the name of, I think most of us know him, by the name of Robert White, lost his foot. Okay, something went sour and it was either remove it or die. He chose the removal thing. My heart does go out to him. Okay, I can't find the article at this point. I'm just scrolling down to see if it pops. Going way down. Yeah, apparently I'm not going to find it anytime soon. Because it's just not showing up. But that's okay. Whoop, where are we? I don't think there is a search in there, is there? No, but, oh, wait a minute. This should be what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to get back to the other side of it before I run out of time here. Yep, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, Robert White, who a lot of us know, okay, lost his 1 foot about a half foot under the knee. Okay. So I did remember the name right and figured out how to get there. So let's minimize that so I can read what's going on. Okay, so come back up here. Now, Philip, and this will give you an idea how fast things happened. Philip has just added in here, Happy Jewish New Year, 5785. Here's the thing. People wonder why time becomes such a curious thing that I'm aware of, and I forget which ones, but years ago I looked into it and found out there were 6 different calendars in existence today around the world. Now, this makes it absolutely murder trying to track anything. Okay. Shadow, I will certainly take you up on it. Yo, Shadow goes, Keith, I'd be happy to teach you enough to keep you happily busy in painting in the painting and crafting world. I'm just starting to get into it. So needless to say, there is no question Shadow knows a staggering amount more than I do. Mind you, I can draw with dots real easy. Can't make heads or tails of them. But if I drop concentration on my hand, that's how they sit while I'm thinking about it. If I let go of concentration, this becomes normal. Unfortunately, I'm dominant right-handed. But that's what I'm challenging myself with as far as striving to remember how to paint. Nathan, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And Nathan's going, well, where are we? Listening while driving. Now, where are you heading for now, Nathan? But Nathan is in the house here, so let's take a look at this and go copy. Oh, today is Saturday, isn't it? Gives you an idea how my day's been going. This is the link to Nathan's show. Okay, and he comes on at 9 o'clock Central. Okay, which is 7 o'clock Pacific, which means I get done this stream, and very shortly thereafter, I'm going to be tuning in to take a look at Nathan's as well. But that said, and this is where it really works out well, because I can actually do this. I can be both in Nathan's room and in Shadows to listen to both at the same time, because my mind will actually track them both. But drop in on Nathan's show, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, give him a thumbs up and come right out and, subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of it. Okay. Oh, that's easy, Philip. The first calendar invented is the one that's got the earliest start date. That's the best I can tell you. But I'll absolutely defy anybody to prove that statement wrong. But, I was talking about this. That's my database. Now you'll notice, and of course I had to, in order for the database to work, in order for the calculations to work, I had to have something at the top. So I put the company at the top. Inner Voice, there you go, Inner Voice Enterprises. My account number is A-A. Okay, but when I look at these, okay, I can pop in here. And right now, of people getting the newsletter or having bought books, I'm sitting on AM-A. Okay, some of those change. Okay, for instance, we've got one here, which is AC-X. It is a completely non-repeating file. Okay, now I don't know how many letters it'll end up being when I get into the billions, but that's where I'm heading for. You know, from my standpoint, it really boils down to this. If you are not content with your life, with your own drive, it is up to you to change it. Okay. Now, I wrote this one, Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams, is the backbone to how I turn my life around. This one, Believe in Your Business and Follow Your Dreams, is the backbone to how I've turned around stabilizing my own business. Whoop, my apologies. That's Believe in Your Finances. Okay, which is how I turn my finances around. That's Believe in Your Business. Okay, I am currently working on Believe in Your Job. And like I said, we will be covering that as it stands. Career or job, that's the 27th as it stands, which is this coming Wednesday. You know, so it really boils down to what is your goal? Now, I will be upgrading my wardrobe. It's just not one of my critical factors. Christine, the only place you can get them for the moment is literally directly through me. Okay. Good. This is the email. Whoop. This is the email. If you drop me a line, this is the email that you get a hold of me through. It's also the email that accesses PayPal usually. Unfortunately, some people, as you understand, it runs into a snag. But if you're looking for a description of 7 out of the 8 books, this is the email, this is the website that currently has all the information. I'm changing that in the near future, as in going into my Facebook page and modifying it there. Now, all of these books, okay, in your hand. Each one of these is $20 in your hand delivered. Okay, and yes, for those of you that are curious on that end, every book I send out from my house is signed. Okay, whether this makes them phenomenally valuable now, I don't know, but the feedback I've got from them has been absolutely remarkable. Now I've got to figure out how to update my profiles on Facebook. I've got 3 sites on Facebook. You know, my personal page, Inner Voice Enterprises, and Yldrbac. That I've got to start, I've got to update. That'll be done sometime. Like, I've got to get that on my list and actually make it happen. Now, by the way, just to put things in perspective, I have just added, because I do desire to make this happen. So now remember, those prices I deal in Canadian prices, which means if you're in the States, frankly, it's going to be a little less expensive as far as an American bill goes. But it's still the same money. I've just added here to make sure I drop in on Shadow's show and on Nathan's, because I do desire to get on to both. But the only way that's going to happen is for me to literally turn around and make it happen. Okay, now. Okay, where are we? These are the big these are the big works. Okay. This is, and needless to say, a whole lot bigger than the self-help. But this is written by a gamer, that's me, with gamers in mind. The neat part about it, this is post-apocalyptic, but I've got a set of gamers actually playing in there and actually trying to keep Dungeons and Dragons alive in spite of the world going to heck in a handbasket. Okay, the guy that actually read the manuscript first, it only had 250 pages. Right, I'm not going to tell you what the ending was like, but what he did was he says, I'm going to read it first thing, I'm going to read a couple chapters in the morning. So he picks it up. At noon, he calls me back and goes, I finished the book. I said, great. And he says, but I don't think you sent me the whole thing. I says, let me ask you. Okay, I says, were there 250 pages? He goes, yeah. I says, was the last word on the last page this? He goes, yeah. I said, that's where the book ends. He goes, but what happened to them after that? I said, that's why there's a sequel. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what the last word is, but I will tell you this. Where this book ends, the prologue to the sequel, which is the end of an epic, is literally the last part of the last chapter. Okay, it might be the whole last chapter. Right. In order to keep it running properly. But that's just the way that I write. I've got a lot of the bits and pieces in the Yldrbacian Chronicles covering things like past lives, soulmates, as you get into the story. The first 3 books, no, that isn't where it covers a lot of it. Okay, but I have taken some of the poems I've written, some of the songs I've written. Thank you so much there, Forrest. I do appreciate it. Oh yeah. Forrest. There's the sequel to it right now, right there. Okay. That's the one that you've got. Now the thing is, you probably picked this one up you probably picked up Yldrbac, The Birth of the Wolf Pack, through Amazon, I'm presuming. Okay. The company I was working with absolutely shafted me. I don't work with Amazon right now. I can't. Okay. And I haven't figured out how to get around that. Okay. But the difference is this one, there's 2 big differences. Okay. One is the one you buy here, okay, is signed. The other part, yeah, it is directly through me only at this point, Christine. I will be I am going to look into eBay and see if I can get into the marketplace and what have you. This one, okay, the only place you're going to get it is through me. I don't think you can get it anywhere else. I know a company that I worked with had listed it, but they underpriced it and the whole 9 yards. And I never saw a plug nickel out of them. But here's the other thing. Okay, if you look at the back of The Birth of the Wolf Pack, let's see. Look at the back of The Birth of the Wolf Pack. You'll notice it's got pictures. It's got only a partial border. Okay, but when we take a look and put it beside the end of an epic, okay, the picture comes together. Okay, now there is a third part which will sit over here, and it completes the bottom half of the mural. Okay, so yeah, absolutely, Forrest Louie. There is a sequel already out. This is the one that I'm really pushing on. Okay, and here's the other kicker to it. Okay, here's the other neat little kicker. In Races of the Worlds, Okay, this is a reference manual. What it's got is names, it's got, political standings, the way their social structure is, the whole 9 yards. Okay, that's in here. But these same races are referenced in the Yldrbacian Chronicles, where you get to see what their personalities are also like. As a matter of fact, and that's that one. All of these books, by the way, are only available directly through me at this point. If you take a look at this one, okay, move a little closer so you can actually see. You see this chap in the middle here, okay, that is Jeremiah, okay, but this guy here, this is a Srazazian. This will give you a physical idea as to how big these chaps are. And take a look at that neat little mace that he's got. Take a look at the size of that compared to the chest. This is normal. Okay. But again, if you go to the website, that'll give you a full description, a full price in the whole 9 yards. That, or drop me a line, I'll send you a copy of all the books. Or not a copy of them, but a price list for them and what they contain. I think that's an excellent idea, personally, Philip. There does seem to be. Yeah, no, Jeremiah. The funny thing with Jeremiah is he did have a funny, scary Halloween mask. He got the actual character, and I'm the one that built Jeremiah for Aftermath. A good mood, but he did survive. So I have got excerpts from the Birth of the Wolf Pack in some editions of Positive Perspectives, the newsletter. Okay, now. So yeah, I am working very hard. I got waylaid by about a year here due to fighting with the marketing companies I was dealing with. And this is where I said persistence is critical. I could have given up and just said, scrap it, I'm not doing it. Okay. But that doesn't work for me. Okay. Now, I do have ideas I'm working on ways that people can actually, and I'll just drop this in your lap. Okay. I've got one friend of mine that I literally, what he did. Now, bear in mind, the reason I say he's a friend of mine is because he is. But I've literally sent books to him to try and move through the bookstores. I'm reclusive. I barely leave my house, and the reason for that is simple. I've been living in the same city for 14 years. Last year, last year in downtown Kelowna, now bear in mind, Kelowna only has like 120,000 people. I got lost half a dozen times downtown last year. This is why I don't drive out of the house very much. That is absolutely terrible there, Philip. No, it wasn't a marking company, it was a marketing company. And they painted a beautiful picture. I spent thousands of dollars on these people and made nothing. I never got one paycheck out of them. Not one. Okay. And this is something when I'm building the publishing company, I am absolutely adamant that what's going to happen is I'll say whatever I'm selling, whoever is putting a book through my company will be getting 70% of the net profit. Okay. And it will be all drawn up on paper, so that's what you get. This idea of I turned over books for them to market. Not only did they cripple me, okay, I didn't get any money out of the deal. I'm not about to have that happen. Do I have any specific role models for who there, Philip? Just a curiosity thing. Well, kind of an important curiosity thing. Yeah, I know. Dead silence, not necessary. Oh, the only as far as role models go, I've got a couple of them. I do believe wholeheartedly in the way my father treated people. Absolutely. Now, bear in mind, I have one glitch that my father didn't have. My father used to say, like, my father treated everybody equally. He was absolutely dead honest with everybody, whether they were an adult or a child. It didn't matter. Give you an idea. Dad was the superintendent of Sunday schools in the Comox Valley. He was a block parent. He was a foster parent, and he was an adoptive parent. Not to mention, he and mom. I've got four. Well, I still have. Just two of them are dead. There were four brothers, one adopted sister, two foster sisters. My parents were in the church as guys that way. Philip, a block parent is from when I was a kid. Okay. And that was the house that every kid in the neighborhood knew. If you were in trouble, if you felt you couldn't go home because of a complication, go to the block parent. That way you're safe. From there, they figure out how to get you home. Okay. But it was a safe place to go if you got stranded, if you got into trouble, and you didn't know how to deal with your parents. Go to the block parent. Yeah, exactly. I mean, my parent, in our case, it was a small town. Everybody knew it. Okay. That's one of my role models. Okay. Now, my dad had a saying, and bear in mind, my dad had a bit of a temper. He was in the military, and he had a monthly habit of beating the living stuffing out of his CO. Okay. Never came up for transfer. But my father used to have a problem with anybody swearing in front of another woman. In front of a woman, not his wife or girlfriend or fiance, just a woman. Okay, I'm a pacifist. Okay, you wouldn't know it by reading the way I write. Yeah, his commanding officer. Matter of fact, he was only his commanding officer. Once a month, he would beat the stuffing out of the commanding officer on the base. Okay, simply because the guy swore in front of a woman. Could have been another airman, an airwoman, could have been just a person on the street. Dad didn't differentiate. But Dad did always tell me it took a bigger man to walk away from a fight than to swing. He also said, and this is where some of you may take offense. He also said, you never hit a lady. She hits first, she's not a lady. Yeah, the base commander. And he never came up for transfer. Don't ask me why not. But that's one of my primary role models. My older brother had an eidetic memory. Okay, and a curiosity. Oh no, the woman's allowed to curse. Dad didn't like it, but he wouldn't beat the heck out of them. It was if a guy cursed in front of a woman. Now, that's an excellent one, and we're gonna have to kind of wing that, but where am I here? Because I did say I would modify that quite readily. That would fall under. Okay, so we move that one, Joe. The show you're asking about, Joe's asking next show topic for the future: how to cope with someone who has dementia. Now, I will be going outside of my personal experience level on that one, but I absolutely agree it's something to look at. Okay, so we will put that on the 27th. And what is the next one after the 27th? That's the 27th. So the concept of career versus job has just been moved to the 4th. Let me go 27th. Marking it down right now to move it later. And the career we will move to the 4th, but it's locked in. It'll go on the 4th. Okay, and this is what I mean by I'm quite ready to move it. Ferret goes, what about girl ferrets that swear a lot? The funny thing there, Ferret, is that from Dad's standpoint, and what I've seen, is if the person you're around doesn't swear a lot, you tend to swear less. And this seems to be a global issue. Same as if people that you're around swear a lot, you tend to start swearing. Okay. You know, but no, my older brother had an eidetic memory and a tested IQ in excess of 180. Okay. And he had a phenomenal capacity to pull fact and to hold facts in place. Just absolutely phenomenal. And with that in mind, do I look at his drive for knowledge as something to look up to? Absolutely. Oh, and the funny thing is, most people, when Dad, especially at church, most people didn't actually um swear a whole lot around him. Might have been partial reputation. Okay, got news. Everybody swears like a sailor. Y'all have to use words. But no, don't get hung up on the swear thing. Myself, I don't swear a lot. In case you hadn't noticed. But with Ken, my older brother, he's passed away now. Okay, he had a phenomenal capacity to look at the logic of anything going on. Brilliant mind, but bear in mind, Ken also was a gamer. Okay, now Ken started gaming. I've gamed about as long as Ken did. Ken started gaming apparently about 2 years before he introduced me to it. Right. And he was gaming up until he died at 64 years of age. Okay. So, I think we've been gaming about the same length of time now. I think. Yeah. Well, the funny thing there, Christine. Okay. The funny thing with that kind of setup, okay, is there are times when I will when I will swear, but not in English. Okay. And frankly, very little of it is actually in Terran. Terran being an earthbound language. But that's just me. Do I look down on people that swear? Not at all, unless I'm taller than they are. Yeah, football goals, cheese and crackers. So fun to have alternative curse words. Oh heavens no! You ever sit around a dwarven table? Trust me, they swear. Yo, but there are ways of insulting people without actually swearing at them. Yo, but let's not get into that. The other role model that wasn't family, okay, you know, the other one that I really do look up to and have always looked up to was Colonel Sanders, who took at 65, he retired and went, hmm, you know, I have no idea, Philip. Somebody else has to figure that one out. Okay. At 65, Colonel Sanders started a company and did it his way. Now, do I look at that as a role model? You bet. Do I look at Steve Jobs, who went, you guys all require this, so I'm going to build it and you can buy it? Okay, absolutely. You know, I mean, this is definitely, these are people that have turned around. I'm not talking about their personalities, I'm talking about their accomplishments. Okay, my dad and my brother had a phenomenal personality, and both of them did. Actually, in all fairness, even my second oldest brother, who was always sick, had this idea of, you can't tell me I can't do it. I'm going to do it. You know, so do I have people I look up to? Certainly. I've mentioned to you guys that I take a look at what Dave does with his show and the way he handles it, the way he tolerates some of the guests he's got. I have no idea how he puts up with them. You know, but there's a lot of people, yourself included there, Shadow. Okay, Shadow's got phenomenal capacity for painting. This is where envy comes in. 50,000 years ago, that was the worst thing anybody had was envy. But we were all willing to share. Okay, jealousy is when you want when you desire what the other person has, but you don't desire to put any effort into it. There's a lot of answers to that, Philip. You know, I have no idea what the most common swear in Shakespeare was. I do know when I was growing up, if you said hell, that was warrant to get your mouth washed out with soap. But Philip goes, "What's the cure for stupid? For stupid?" In my opinion, the Darwin Awards. You just can't fix stupid. Well, you can, but that only stops them from reproducing. Unfortunately, stupidity seems to be verbally contagious. Now you'll notice I drink Coke. Okay, this is kind of dense in a lot of ways because if you think about it, you can dissolve all kinds of things in this, so it's clearly not good for you. And yet I'll sit here and drink it. Not the brightest choice of drink. You know, I mean, it's kind of like the question: how do you stop how do you stop a stupid man from drowning? Well, you take your foot off his head. Yeah, I don't think anybody can fix stupid. I've actually asked people if they actually had a brain or how they survived as long as they did. You know, but with Inner Voice Enterprises, when when I talk about doing something and this is what's going to happen or this is what's happening, it's literally in the works. Um, I'm not sure what you mean by loyal. If you're asking, will I drink this sooner than I'll drink Pepsi? Absolutely. I don't like Pepsi. It's too sweet. Okay. But do I see Coca Cola as some sort of a phenomenal company? They found what they did to get their head start was they took real cocaine and put it into each bottle. Oh, here's the thing. Now, and this is kind of a neat little trick with this. Okay. Yeah, football goes, I'm addicted to all soda. There are some sodas that I won't drink. Now, the neat part is, in the States, you guys call this soda. Up here, we call it pop. But here's the funny kicker. Okay, the list there, Philip, is pretty cut and dried. I used to drink strictly root beer. Didn't have a brand. Okay, in all fairness, at the time, I think Fanta was the only one we had up here. But I've drank root beer. I've tried virtually all of them. Okay, I did find that Fresca was absolutely gross. Okay, soda water, I tried it once. That was enough. And I understand, and tonic water is just as bad unless you put enough gin in it, at which point it's not too terrible. Okay, sparkling water, I've tried, it doesn't do a lot for me. The pop that has zero sugar, I won't touch. Okay. It's absolutely gross in my eyes. Pepsi's got too much, but Zero is way too little. Okay, but one of the drinks that I did try when I was down in Texas a couple of years back, okay, hadn't tried it at all. Okay, until I got down there because it wasn't available. But I did find I really enjoyed sarsaparilla, but I can't get it up here. They absolutely do. And most stuff you're addicted to because you're told you're addicted to it. Okay, I drink pop for a couple of reasons. One, I like the flavor. Two, sometimes it gives me energy. But here's the funny part. I finish this, and this can be a problem. I drink one of these in just solid. I get finished. 20 minutes later, I'm out like a light for an hour. Okay. If I drink the monster drinks, okay, everybody knows what a monster drink is. It's a great energy drink. Works like a charm. I take a monster drink, I drink that, and 5 minutes after I'm finished, I'm out for the night. It's a great energy drink. I'm not sure where the energy goes, but it saps it out of me in a hurry. But the whole and what we got. Oh, I prefer anything with ice in it. Well, I prefer cold drinks with ice in them. Hot drinks, coffee, I hate with ice in it. I just won't drink it. It's like, no, thanks for the offer. But I've got a vision in my head, and this is why I say, well, I've actually got it on paper. This live stream I'm doing will stay free, as will the newsletter, which eventually will become a magazine. Okay. I got used to cold coffee because I worked in the hospitality industry. Okay, but I never put ice in it. To me, that's just wrong. See, my eldest brother had a hiccup. He used to drink he would drink a 2-liter bottle of Coke and a full box of Catelli dinner for each meal. 2 to 3 meals a day he'd drink the same way. He'd eat the same way. And ended up at over 400 pounds. Okay. Now, I've never gone that high. I got to 246 a couple of years ago and went, not making it, not making 250. I'm right now down around 195. I have no idea how they pull that off. But that's a terrible question, Philip. I mean, from my standpoint, I look at it, my brother, I was told if you desire to make something happen, you're the one that's going to have to do it. Now, I am in one of the books I'm working on is one that tells you exactly how to take your dream and turn it into a blatant reality. Ouch. I will tell you this. The moment if I read a pop, I just hope they didn't do this. Yep. Some drinks, you look at them and they'll say they don't use sugar, they use aspartame. The second I see aspartame on something, I won't touch it. That's not entirely true. I think that the gum has aspartame in it now. But here's the thing with aspartame. And don't take my word for this. Okay, do your own research. Okay, from what I gather, aspartame is an additive that causes cancer. Okay, now, do I eat juicy fruit gum? Yeah, but not very much of it. Okay, I've probably got a stock in here that'll last me a year or so. It's only like 6 boxes. you know, yeah, I'm not entirely. I've heard of people milking bulls before, but that's a whole different ballgame. It doesn't result in good milk either. Well, yeah, but here's the kicker there, football. Okay, if you're drinking too much sugar, your kidneys are having to filter it, and that's where the back pain likely was coming from. But when you get an eye in your, yeah, artificial sweetener. I think artificial sweetener is kind of like artificial intelligence. It's like a friend of mine says, why drink decaf coffee or decaffeinated drinks? Why drink them? Caffeine free, not brilliant. Like, what's the point? But, teach their own. You know, so I mean, I look at this whole situation that we're dealing with, and the reason I say persistence works is because it didn't take a moment to get into this mess. It's going to take a while to get out of it. Well, ultimately, that's what because when you take a standard pot of coffee, most people put 3 to 4 tablespoons of coffee into a 12-cup pot. I put one. Okay. And my nutritionist looks at me and she goes, well, you're barely flavoring the coffee, but you're getting all the water that you require. You know, yeah, well, I agree with you there, Philip. Problem is the way they take the caffeine out of the coffee, from what I gather, is they bleach it. So here's a cup of coffee and here's a cup of bleach. Have a happy. For me, it just doesn't work. Yeah. Football goes, why is there genetically modified food? Because mankind has this brilliant idea. They can do things better than nature. Every time they've done that, they've screwed it up. Without exception, as far as I'm aware of. Okay. I mean, yes, the medications that mankind comes up with do work faster than the natural methods in a lot of ways. Okay. And, this is why I say work with the doctor if you're seeing one. Do not just cut off your medication. This is a Darwin move. Okay. It's just not a brilliant idea. One of the things that I look at is this. I've got a goal in mind. Okay. Now, like I said, we did change this, so we're getting down to 2 hour, I think. We are. Tomorrow, we are not tomorrow, sorry, tomorrow's open. On Monday, we're going to be looking at this question of, are we an off-world experiment? What is going on? Okay. Um, and you've still got blood there? On the 26th, on Tuesday, we're going to be looking at quite literally gaming and the way that I've started changing things in my own campaign. Okay, because I finally, after the stroke, I couldn't track a game. Now I can. Then on the 4th, or on the 27th, we're going to take a look, that'll be on Wednesday, at how to cope with people dealing with dementia. On the 27, 28, I won't be here. 29th, which is Friday, we're going to be dealing with the elephant race and their many permutations. And then on the 30th, we're going to start looking at investing. Now, I am no investment advisor. I am not a financial advisor. I simply know what I've found out and what I've gone through. Football. Well, not, yeah, football. Just a thought. But if you've got access to a local farm, okay, go out and see if you can get the milk straight from the farmer. I don't know what the laws are around it. I frankly don't agree with laws around it, around saying, oh, you can't sell it. But I understand the issue of having to have some sort of standard in the grocery stores and what have you. Oh, the doctors actually couldn't tell me what caused it. But as a matter of fact, the doctors took a look at the stroke. You know, they took a look at the MIEG after the stroke. Okay, and they said, okay, yes, there's been a stroke here, and here's a mild one. What they didn't see was the other 3 mild ones that I saw. But they couldn't tell me what caused it. Nor could they tell me how I healed as fast as I did. I went into the hospital on the 28th of December of 2018. Not only could I not walk nor talk, okay, like I went in there, I just couldn't move. But 2 days later, I was up and walking. On New Year's Eve, I was home for my annual game. Okay, but what caused it was literally biting my tongue and holding that stress inside. I didn't say anything, and everything, I picked up everything because I'm an empath. And it was bottling that caused the problem. Here's the funny part. Just a thought there, Ferret. Okay. If it's consumable, it's organic. I'll guarantee, whether they're putting extra toxin into it or not. Okay. Frankly, it's still getting the toxins. It still uses the same rainwater, still uses the same air. Okay. You know, that's a terrible thing to look at there, Emmy. But no, the reality is the stroke itself was caused because of biting my tongue. Okay, of seeing things going wrong and not saying a word about it. Okay. Well, and hiding from the world, by the way, didn't help. Net result, I don't bite my tongue so much. Also don't have a problem with having a stroke. By the way, my hand, that happened from way back when I was a kid. Oh, I realize they could say it does, but the stupid part about it is, in my eyes, and I see something that says it's organic, and next door to it is something that just says it's a vegetable. I'll take the vegetable. Okay, or the fruit. But that's a whole other topic. Now, yeah, I know what they mean. They're just, in my opinion, not functionally right. But we are pulling down to the 2-hour mark here. So just a quick note, and this is just a quick reminder for those of you that are interested. If you're looking to buy any of the books I've got available, this is the one site that has 7 out of 8 of them detailed. Okay. This is the website that's got them. The rest will be updated on my Facebook page and what have you in very short order. That'll give you the descriptions. But this here is the email address to get a hold of me directly. And it's the only one that I can guarantee you can get the books from. I've got them all in stock. Okay. This is the same email that works for PayPal in most cases. But absolutely drop me a line. That said, we are at the end of the 2-hour mark here. So I want to thank you so very much for sharing your time with me. I really do appreciate it. And I will be back again tomorrow. Okay. Until then, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.